the map, pinpoint where the enemies are for your team. Maybe go, break out the dimensional drift and just surprise someone with a shorty. We saw that yesterday, right? So it would be fun to see that as well. But at the same time, having KRX on that cipher, it's gonna be a bigger problem, like you mentioned yesterday, Quack. Having this Yoru to deal with this cipher is gonna make it so hard for him to really pinpoint where exactly he's going from that ult.
I couldn't agree more. It's going to be really interesting once we see now swap onto the attacking side. But right now, XGOD on the attack. Dude, I just want to see Fox get into PTC's mind if he can even do that. You know, like, he's the initiator. He could really throw PTC off and, like, cause the team to shake around a little bit. But for now, just marching up.
Over on mid side here, this trailblazing into heaven finds nothing quite yet, but PTC's kept itself relatively hidden. But KRX and Garnets, they are doing so much damage to NAOS right now, completely breaking the defense on pistols. Every single member they met immediately dealt with, and this is all from 3 different parts of the map entirely.
Yeah, so quick, and I think, you know, NAOS kind of getting caught off guard, so 1v4 now. Valdin, no real util either. He's gonna have to at least take the first one down.
Not happening. Relatively, I would say, fast and clean round coming forward. I think XGOD just going up mid, pushing up, isolating the vents area and pushing into male. They're just able to just not allow NAOS to be able to just swing off each other or play with each other.
That's kind of the thing. If you have this double duelist, if you have the ISO like you were talking about, right, Tash?
Yeah.
Garnets, being able to frag, you got the whole team right there with you. They could just walk up mid and force their opponents to try to go for trades. But if you have that many XGOD players who are so online, able to play off the cracked shield and everything, it's not going to be easy. NAOS needs to find more information and find some control. They cannot afford to play passive, which is why it's nice to see them marching down, but it is a pistol round.
It really is, and Zan quickly and swiftly dealt with here. Javi, excuse me, in this smoke, tries to get some blind shots forward, but every time a member of NAOS even tries to breach that smoke, they're going to be swiftly dealt with 2 members just hunkering down in there. Niz making sure that flank is closed. The nade will be disrespected. The blind does hit. It's just Mosher left. He can try and go for a peek off here, but he doesn't have the weapons. And just like that, Niz making sure their backs are clear and his teammates are able to just completely take over that site.
Yeah, good little try. Wanted to push down to try to find picks here and there, but, you know, to no real avail. You got XGOD, and they've got the guns. They're feeling confident. They're working together as a team. Right? We don't see anyone individually overheating, ego peeking too far off from each other. You got Niz watching the flanks. This is not too bad so far.
It's really decent. I'm sorry. I like that laugh. That's the same laugh I did back. Sorry. Nice. Couldn't help myself. The cosplay is looking great right now. And XGOD, you could tell this round, they're trying to find a way to be able to just swing off this bonus, or rather snowball off this bonus. But this is NAOS' buy round, so we're going to see a bit more of aggressive push out here, at least toward Ram's area. KRX marking Zen, but Mosher with an opening onto Fluky first. But this sees that's by KRX, and the double swing forward means that he cannot hold on and survive, granting NAOS also that orb.
Yeah, so much control now found by NAOS because they started to get more proactive now that they have the guns. PTC, though, still trying to gain information and control middle as to the best of his ability.
Will be kept at bay because of that, but you are being suppressed right now because of the uppercut. PTC playing his corners to perfection, but his teammate not able to swing off him either, so he was really stuck between a rock as well as that poison orb alongside 2 members of XGOD. Garnet's here undeterred at all despite the Roomba happily allowing his presence to be noted down at mid here. It's Javier.
Yeah, which means...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, for XGOD, you know, they know kind of where NAOS are, and they're kind of just watching out for a lot of these positions, trying to figure out a way to crack themselves over. They have this Javier AK down.
Oh, this flash doesn't really hit Javi AK, so he takes full advantage of that situation. And Garnet's all alone, a 1v4. Hard to isolate either with this beautiful setup, but Gardas do get one before being knocked down by Zen. So NAOS finally 1 more point on the board.
Now it's really impressive for Javi to be able to, you know, lock everything down that way. I mean, not only did you have the defensive setups, you also have players like Mosher working alongside Javi to, or even Zen to really push out a little bit more, find their opponents, get some information, or to get some picks. And with those picks, then XGOD started to have tools in their kit getting removed from them. So they were, although they had information, they couldn't quite come up together. But now maybe knowing that PTC is always up top mid, they're looking for a way to burst into him. PTC then repositions though into Mail.
The ARP goes down. Two members place themselves onto
It's you
Heather.
and me.
But here comes the kill contract here. Garnet's managed to pick up Mosier. And Mosier, what a strafe! Managed to outplay him, but Foxy was waiting for him to come through. So swiftly Death Fluid, there is a trade at the very least. Zan not able to capitalize off that situation. Gonna refill that space. Sorry, go ahead, Quack.
It's all good. There was a funny thing happening as well, Tash.
What was it?
Fox, the Trailblazer, killed PTC.
Wait, where? I was so locked in, I didn't even realize that.
During the kill contract, so a little bit unfortunate. But now it's Javi 8K beginning to peek out.
Get a pick, move back, get a pick, reposition. Immediately gotta put a deeper smoke, which I think Niz should push through right now. Javi 8K looking at the wrong place right now. Timing definitely his enemy at this point as Niz get him in the back.
30 seconds
Some smoke
left.
set up as well, a plant. Just 30 seconds to go here. He does have Fox, who's still very much alive here. He's just lurking down mid. Would be able to get good timing against the other members of NAOS if they don't check onto Heaven's side. Definitely heard all the footsteps coming through as well here. As the Prowls come through.
Namely right
close.
here though. You got Valden, who can retrieve a lot of info, as well as Zan with the flashes.
find you.
So it depends on how XGOD plays.
For sure, Valden in the corner here. Finds Niz, but that crossfire from Heaven all the way to site will allow them some swift post plants. XGOD, their attack, looks really good. It's aggressive, it's fast, and it doesn't allow for NAOS to be able to just move with each other.
Also decisive. This was a very clear plan. First of all, you had the ISO ult coming through. Garnet's, not only did he capture someone, he landed a kill. PTC, I think, trying to fall back, it was a smart call, but he did make some noise, and Fox was just reading all of that. So this is where you get to see that hit-to-hit coming alive. Fox and PTC, they're still butting heads.
Oh yeah. Garnet's here gonna go for the peak. Surprised to find two, but somehow manages to stay alive here. The flashes hit, but they are swiftly just moving away from the area. We have Mojo holding a bit more close. He does have a Bucky in hand, but as that smoke goes down, Zan gets caught out. Unlucky timing, unlucky situation. Fully capitalized by XGOD.
Kill found with the Outlaw as well, and NAOS are honestly scrambling. They don't have guns, they don't have control over the map.
They really don't. Mosher was hoping that someone pushed through there with that Bucky, but from in the corner here, despite the flashes, despite everything, Garnets was very much ready to find him before the flash gets put down. On top of that as well, they're taking their time here. They have no idea where exactly PTC will be coming from. And on top of that, he's going to play a retake 1 versus 4 with an Outlaw here. What's the call, Quack? What do you think he's going to do?
Play for exits. You got an Outlaw. There's no chance in hell you're going to retake with this. Not even if you isolate the duels. You just can't reload in time. So play around the back. Maybe you get one kill. You get your Viper's Pit. You get out of there. That's the best case scenario. And it's not a great one for NAOS, but it is a very welcome surprise from XGOD. I think Fox is doing some good calls so far on this attack. And he's really, well, catching NAOS off guard. I was trying to think of a better phrase for that, but yeah, NAOS just not really sure how to play around this right now. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Amix called a timeout sooner or later, because it kind of feels as though they need it.
Yeah, they really did. I think you're gonna figure out where exactly or how exactly XGOD is coming from or even playing. And I have to say, it looks very, yeah, I don't think the right word you said just now is very decisive. They know how exactly they want to execute is, where they're gonna come from. There's always a quick, swift trade every single time. You think that you're gonna win a kill contract against the ISO? No, you're gonna have someone like a KRX or even Fluky ready to trade you back. So there is always that plan B. What happens when the kill contract fails? Well, let's have someone here to watch on the body so we're able to just swiftly deal with it. Don't give ourselves time to be diminished in terms of numbers.
Precisely. And now a quick hit into the A side. All 5 pushing down.
All the way up onto Rams as well. We already hear how Kev Coffin coming through here. Javi AK, huge opening onto Fluky. And they're not able to capitalize off that showstopper too. So that's out of the game as well. PTC, huge into the Outlaw. And Garnets will be swiftly dealt with alongside Foxy. And now Valdin. Blind spams through that smoke. And XGOD suddenly thrown off their feet. No clue where to go here. Tries to aim Jewel Valdin, but he's ready for that. You always have someone to trade. It's going to be Niz. But he's still alone regardless in 1v4. Going to TP out right now. For him right now, yeah, he's great on economy. Can go for some extra frags if he wants to, but a tall ask to be able to get to the site. Maybe he can go B, maybe go for that plant if he wants to at the very least.
Maybe. Still 1v4 though, so he's gonna work with what he knows.
Have Javi AK making a beeline for B side in case he rotates, but PTC, wow, ready for him regardless of everything. That crouch throws him off guard, but at least Zan is there at the very least to receive.
It's a good little round from NAOS. I was kind of worried if they had lost this round, then yeah, timeout 100% needed. But because they managed to find their return on investment with these ops and maybe even the Outlaws, they were finding success. They put up these huge roadblocks around the A site and they received contact and reacted very well to it. So good little round. They're starting to read kind of how XGOD might want to play across the map. Before it was the B site, you know, maybe a little bit towards mid, then suddenly into A, and Javi AK was anticipating that. Still need a little bit more though. Second, another round where XGOD is trying to push into A again. You've got the Viper spit down middle, but you would like to see NAOS getting some more information around this as well, especially with like Valdin, you know, throwing his haunt somewhere.
That's a lot of utilities thrown out to just throw off NAOS from their holds. Were able to retake that space at the very least, but they had to give up Rams in that process.
Okay, so the dust kind of settles, but you got Zan.
Oh, he saw him. Especially for him, the shot does not connect here. Knows there's someone holding on B, so the call is to just either push off Zan somewhere else, and I think they want to try and do that. Maybe they can exhaust some pings there, maybe they want to challenge the pit, or they can go on B main. Since it's just an op, they can throw him off with either just a flash or util from the backside if they want to, but I think they want to re-hit A at this point.
Just trying to work their way around it. They don't want to contend with a possible op, and they can't go through mid because of the pit being there. They still have a lot of players, and as soon as they keep their flashes alive, they can burst into sight.
Fluky's all the way up into heaven already. Garnet does fall, and Fluky somehow finds Valdin with his util up in his hands. PTC still very much there onto heaven side. Niz positions himself all the way onto ramps. Forced off the site here, but it doesn't really matter because PTC and Javi AK taking back that spot. But Fluky, he's moved himself all the way to CT side, making so much noise. And XRX alongside him just crunching from so many different areas. Fluky, the big man in this game, taking out space. Heaven, ramps all the way down CT. You can't really hold against him.
And this is just impressive, inspired play from one of these players, up-and-coming players. The likes of, you know, Fluky, Niz sometimes. We're not too familiar with their names. They've come from, you know, a lot of maybe different teams or orgs before, but they haven't really made it to the top quite yet. So finding themselves with some really experienced players like Fox and Garnets, you gotta imagine they're so motivated to keep going and hopefully to find more opportunities through these moments. And Fluky just definitely showed that he can deliver, especially when the calls from Fox are sharp. They knew where that op was, they knew the site, and they fully surprised NAOS. I think that's one of the things, you know, I was kind of expecting Mojer or someone else to at least understand that they had to keep themselves awake and online in case a hit came through. But that blast pack movement, man, Mojer just got completely blindsided by it. So current scoreline, Tash, 5-2. And NAOS needs a win streak to put themselves back up neck to neck with XGOD. That's why you see this timeout coming out, and hopefully Coach Amix with, you know, maybe some defensive setups being changed around, or maybe letting some of these players, I mean, like maybe Mojer or Valdin, to get a little bit more proactive. They can then kind of inform themselves as to how XGOD are looking to play.
Oh yeah. Honestly, it's really terrifying when you look at Fluky, how he takes up space, how quickly he was to take up full advantage of the situation. That is confidence in a bottle. Javi 8K this time going a bit more aggressive, swiftly dealt with. It's very aggressive and very decisive how Fluky came in and just checked all these possible corners. A dink from PTC. We've seen this happen before in the bigger stages, and he still definitely got it.
Not too bad on the kills, but still with the guns and the positions lost by the wayside, XGOD had the sight.
Mosier immediately knew that KRX will be somewhere close. Deals with him as well. But the timing coming through from the peaks from Niz is just so impeccable. Granted, he's so low right now. With barely any HP left, PTC gonna try and just keep them at bay there from behind pillar. Mosier is here moving in with the Roomba. All eyes on them, but Niz's positioning just a little bit better. Mosier gonna throw out the paint shells, but this one peek out from Fluky will just end the round swiftly, regardless of that timeout, an unlucky situation. But perhaps the next round, the buy round, will be a better round for them.
Maybe, hopefully. I certainly hope that that's the case. Nonetheless, though, I mean, just to talk up some chops for XGOD. Fluky is showing that he's a team player. Like, they know how to work off of each other as a team. Niz was low, and Mosier knew where he was, so of course that's the kill that he was going to go for. And Fluky just peeked off of that. That's why he's up 11 kills and only 3 deaths right now. So far, so good, and they've got some ults to work with. NAOS need to anticipate a potential ult round coming out from XGOD, or else they might go on a lose streak in this first half.
A lot of pressure here, but a pop flash forward, but it's not Zan and Javi 8K winning it. It's Fox and Fluky. They had completely anticipated this from happening, but PTC once again a great pickoff early, but swiftly dealt with by Garnets. Again, how quickly, how decisively this team just bursts into the site. Mosier, at the very least, gonna find someone, the KRK in the mid of that rotation onto mid-side area. Velvaldin coming in from CT. Throws out a paint shell just to disallow Fox from being able to come close to CT side area. Makes a lot of noise to allow his teammate to come through, but Foxy knows exactly the game that he is playing here. No one's peeking, everyone's just buying their time. And Mosier right now, with only 350 creds, exit frags could potentially be the call and even a save.
One way or another, it's a round loss for NAOS Tash, and it's not a good one, because at this point, you know, we were kind of talking about the first half being a very pivotal point, I think, for both teams, especially considering the fact that this is NAOS's pick.
Yeah.
Going 2-7, especially when you're on defense, is not a good look. You came in with a pinch play into the garage position, and your opponents were just able to receive that in kind. You know, the flashes dodged, you threw a clone and everything, but it didn't matter to them. That shows how well XGOD can receive NAOS, you know, even when NAOS are trying to assert their own game plan. So, I mean, NAOS need something. They need some kind of a game changer here.
Only ghost in hand here. Zen gonna try to play that opening pickoff, but KRX, what the heck is that? He's the first contact play here as a Cypher with an Outlaw. Great opening, gives him a little space. Mosier does trade him back, but Garnet's will gonna bring one player, which is Mosier, straight into the kill contract, and this time he comes up on top. Behind him is PTC, and somehow PTC loses that, whiffing every single shot. It's just so unfortunate. Over here waiting on the top side is gonna be Zan, but Garnet's, he knows and he's confident as heck here, taking fights one by one, every single corner checked. He's anticipating Javi 8K being very close. He swings out, immediately the double tap saves his life, and this guy, a 4K, taking every single jewel with perfection.
Ridiculous coming up from Garnets. Tash, sometimes, and you know how it is, you be playing a ranked game sometimes, you stream them.
Sometimes.
The easiest shots are also the easiest shots to whiff.
Yes.
You know, the easiest shots to take, like sometimes point blank range, your opponent sidesteps, you got Sheriff. It's hard to land it. I don't fully blame PTC, but you gotta, you know, admire how Garnet was able to recognize that situation so quickly. His brain synapse is firing, and he just quickly turns around 180, sidesteps all of the shots. That's just great play coming out. You know, he had the kill contract and everything, and now he still has that shield. He can still disrupt any defensive setup NAOS might have on this B site right now.
Brain synapse, huh? What a word. Paranoia prepped. PTC is just gonna quickly throw out his snake bite as well if say that XGOD does go fast, and that's exactly what happened here. But it doesn't really matter though. Luffy, unfortunately, him not letting him land his shots, but Javi 8K, he is the guardian of this side as well. A nice crossfire all the way backside alongside Zen. And it's just Niz and KRX alone. They have the spike at the very least, quick to TP onto main. Making their way onto A side as well. No one's quite here to receive. It's only Valdin waiting for the right opportune moment if someone were to push all the way to CT side. And it's going to be KRX. Very much ready for that off angle as well. Disgusting how the shots were.
It's not good for NAOS Tash, even though it's a 2v4, 2v3 right now, right? You got the spike planted, you got so much timing to get into a good position. Niz can play spoiler here.
He really can. He's TP'd this all the way up to heaven. No clue if they are going to be anticipating this play though. With the smokes, with the cage up forward here, he's just going to swing out, and the op shot is just looking the wrong way. It's all the way up there to Rams. The nade does come through the time being. They have a nice crossfire set up here. Every single member from NAOS just dwindle down to 1v2. What can you do here? Modric gets the first shot. There's still another one to worry about. Work's not done. Niz is toying with him, buying time, not looking to peek, and he does get him in the end. But unfortunately for NAOS, time not on their side. Once again, XGOD just steals away the round.
I am not 100% certain. We might have to look at the replay real quick. But I think there might have been a slight 0.0 something second chance that Moser might have been able to stick the defuse. Nonetheless, through his own discretion, he's decided to go for the save instead. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. You see how this round plays out. It was a 2v4, and XGOD knew how to work around themselves, knew how to work around the team and the map to be able to throw any advantage that NAOS had away. This is a strong team now coming up in this first attacking half, and they just might end it 10-2.
They're so structurally sound. They have an idea on how to play the post plants, what to do when you're in a 2v4 situation. The way they go in, the way they had placed themselves across from each other is phenomenal.
I couldn't agree more. I don't know if this is prep work from Coach Hestiazi, but they've clearly, kind of studied out NAOS, and they've also come in with really good info gathering all across each and every round. Right now, at least, position themselves towards a ramp. You got Moser here, maybe Valdin, but he still hasn't sent that haunt. So they don't really know that this hit could be coming soon.
Haunt comes through and immediately Fluky and Moser just going to trade off each other. Moser goes for two, in fact, with that showstopper. Zan comes up close as well. But somehow from this side, you do have Garnets still puts a dent in their situation here. Moser, you have Boxy, who just disrespected him, but these strafes coming from Moser, that's huge. That's one corner he held with his life, surviving with only 12 HP and 9-3 half. I think this is decent from NAOS.
Yeah, not too bad. We'll see if they're able to bounce back truly in the second half once they're onto the attacking side, which is not the easiest either. But you see what I'm talking about. It's gonna help you learn if you apply it. And right now, it looks as though XGOD are definitely applying it. Look at them, they're pushing down mid.
They're confident in their aim, they're confident in the game plan as well. With Javi 8K holding the ramen, spotted out, and then he immediately moves away here. XGOD, you have just Niz pushing up forward. That forces Zan to gate crash away, giving away his position onto ramps. Back to square one.
Not too bad, though. I mean, gate crashed away. XGOD don't really know where he gate crashed to unless they heard it. So right now they're kind of keeping themselves across the map just in case the hit is going towards B, where they would be right.
Paranoia will be met with the uppercut. Both teams forced backwards for the time being here. Now back to the drawing board. They know that at least ISO is on B, but the rest still question marks around.
But that's a great reaction coming out from Garnets, though. The undercut ability being sent through really stopped NAOS in their tracks, and then now we have a full reset, right? XGOD still having, general control over the map, but NAOS trying to sell some fakes with some fake dark cover. But Garnets, he's in the garage. He can see this.
Oh my goodness, I was so worried for Javi AK, but at the very least right now they did get that trade. Niz rotating in from vents, finds nothing. PTC walking around the map, checking every single nook, cranny, and corner. At least for right now, XGOD, he tries to take a bit more space. Moser quickly deals with this, and the same goes for Foxy to fall, leaving only Fluky and KRX. We've seen a 2v4 earlier by XGOD, but in this situation for a retake, they have NAOS who have positioned themselves in key positions here on the map. A lot of crossfires, a high-low even. You have the smokes, you have the poison orb. It's not going to be the easiest way onto the site itself. Needs to find some information, something right now. Time ticking as Fluky. One on Raps and one below here, swiftly dealt with by PTC. Javi AK also had the right call. So pistols going back into NAOS's lap at the very least, so round by round.
An almost flawless round also to that, which is actually really nice from NAOS. I don't know, man. Tash, like, XGOD kind of had us convinced that they were a really good team this first half, but then in the second half, you know, maybe it's just because it's the pistol, but they were going for a lot of individual fights, and that's not that good. NAOS, on the other hand, though, especially with Zen on this Yoru, has so much ambiguity, and I think that's why XGOD are like repeatedly guessing, like, what's gonna happen. We're not too sure. Hence, peeking out and trying to put up roadblocks. It's a 4-stack, will turn into a 3-stack with Mojer pushing it. And of course, NAOS has the guns.
That's huge because NAOS really took their time here, understanding that this eco means there's a possibility for XGOD to push. They were patient for it and it was definitely rewarded. Prowling down out mid-side area, finds no one close at the very least, gives them a bit more space to work with.
Yeah. Now trailing off, you know, XGOD, they just lost a player on B, so they're going to stay on B just in case, right? And mid is completely open. Now still has Zan, you still have, you know, so many controllers. You're making fake noise. Garnets just saw it, but you're not entirely sure where the hit is coming.
Already coming to the site here. First contact from Mojer, it's just great. Missed the fall, but Fluky and Foxy, those are classic kills, guys. And we are seeing a lot of those today. Mojer gonna quickly spray him on the right corner. He runs out of bullets, but thankfully Valdin is close. A bit surprised that he's able to survive that long in that corner. Regardless, it is a 2-on-1 here. You have a Bulldog, you have an Outlaw. Garnets, though, we know he's an incredible shot, but a 2-on-1, NAOS has placed themselves in the tucked back side. They have the high-low formation at the same time. We have one player all the way down onto main here. Not the easiest, because if you do get one shot, you have to deal with another there, either across, either the bottom side. But he will try. Knows exactly where to look right now, tries to walk forward, and just like that, an immediate trade. Valdin goes big this round. Only a 4-round deficit. NAOS, they're slowly making their way back into the game.
Yeah, not too bad. So actually, I think I didn't catch their full buy. I'm certain that 2 of the NAOS players were on, I think, Ghosts. So that's why maybe, you know, they did die to the classic still. They should have like been able to find a little bit more, but it is what it is. It's okay. Main thing is they get to buy up the rounds. They get to buy up more utility for the next round as well. But of course, XGOD not too bad in terms of damage as well. Now they get to play a little bit more. So Fox, oh, he's doing his thing.
Yeah. Kind of hoping that maybe they will buy the snake oil there. No, not happening. They knew immediately that that's the real guy.
Still the snake oil.
I'm sorry, I had to, you know? But anyways, but swiftly dealt with. They have a nice cross as well from ramps all the way to main. And Niz is going to deliver the same thing that that Javi AK delivered to them earlier, but he is actually delayed from it because of the UT thrown out. But KRX is there to recover, and Javi AK tries to play cheekily. Again, nothing crosses them at all.
Oh man.
Last player standing.
Fox.
Gun in hand here. Valdin very much ready to receive Fox as well. Moving on the map, 1v3.
Bring them down.
Gonna throw the Prowler out first, and it's great because it does tell him the location of that wire. And the only thing he has right now, well, 3 more seconds till his is online. Now it is. You have the C's as well. But I think Garnets has read him like a book here. He knows exactly where he's going to be emerging from. Garnet's going to be happy to take this. XGOD back in the game now. Another point in the bag. Double digits.
See, that's why Garnets is such a good player. He recognizes the situation so well. Even has the timing on the rotations read. That's why he was holding that position. If Valdin didn't show up at that time, then Garnets would have known, okay, maybe he actually rotated through sewer instead. Then I can reposition somewhere else. Which is just so smart. But apart from that, you see why XGOD is performing so well as his team. Niz felt uncomfortable with the paint shells, but he didn't buckle. He still did his job in sending out that flash, which completely stalled NAOS as they tried to push out a garage. This XGOD is showing incredible, organized, cohesive play.
And it's actually interesting. We were talking about how XGOD got 13-0'd previously, but it seemed like that loss really motivated him to get better. Now you're gonna send out that clone to deal with the trip, excuse me. As Zan knows that somewhere close, at the very least, Fluky is gonna be making his presence known all the way onto B main as well. Garnet's gonna rush forward. Here's the full steps as well here.
It's PTC versus Fox also.
Oh no.
My ult is ready.
Garnet's position threw PTC off guard there.
Not only that, now you got so much
There.
more information and space to work around. Now it's though trying to pull a sneaky one if they can get up the ropes.
Garnet is so far in here. His timing could be massive. Not sure if they're actually checking for him either. The other two
Well,
members
he's not checking
of
for them
NAOS.
either, Tash. So that's the main thing. He wouldn't know that they might have snuck over, and that's where they could catch Fox off guard.
Fluky Fansan. They're already into the A side as well here, but
Nightmare's
Fluky
over.
knows exactly where Javi AK is, and the rest of the team for NAOS just scrambling onto site
30
going for that
seconds
plant.
left.
At least Fox still staying tucked away. Now he knows, and he has utility. He has his whole team backing
My ult
him.
is ready.
5v2. Will we see a miracle play from NAOS?
Here's all the footsteps here coming in from either Heaven's side ropes all the way from main as well. Garnet still, his presence there was undetected. Mosier
Uh-oh.
unfortunately will be flashed. They know exactly where he is here, meeting off each other here. 3
Now
from
there's
main
Nightfall.
side. You all have already taken one player off that side. It's gonna be the kill contract where Garnet's just waited for him to walk into the crosshair. So XGOD, this retake is a clean one, going to 11, and NAOS couldn't even fight back.
Not a chance. This is incredible, Tash. It's beginning to look like it's Jovers. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas for XGOD. 11-5, and every round that they've been playing, XGOD are keeping NAOS on their toes, all the way from the first half down to the second half. Short of pistol, you know, they were a little bit scattered. They were going for individual, you know, moments. But now that they have guns, you see how Fox works alongside Garnets to take down PTC. PTC's whole job is to lurk around his toxic screen around A ramp, and he can't do that because Fox is constantly disturbing him, like double peek alongside Garnets. Like that's why they're together, right? These two friends. It's just so good, and PTC's definitely not enjoying it. He's not having a good day. Amix good on the intervention, but we'll see if, you know, he's actually able to string anything together, because this is now a huge deficit. You're going to need so much more than just like positional switch ups. XGOD, they are retrieving information. Niz is doing a good job anchoring down the B site. And you got Fluky controlling or checking middle as well with his boombot and things like that. I'm not going to lie. This is not going to be an easy climb up from NAOS.
I agree with you. Everything you said was completely true. Valdin, at the very least, does have the Nightfall to play with. So they can go for a retake or go a little bit more aggressive and just catch them off guard if they want to. They are 2 off the showstopper for Mosier. So there is at least something to work with. Excuse me.
Yeah, the stack to try to play around it. But look at how XGOD have positioned themselves back as well. They are anticipating this.
Foxy hears the footsteps, hears those sounds. There's a lot of noise made here, but Foxy is just waiting for them to come through. Yeah, Valdin does get that trade, but he's rendered so low right now. There is still a Nightfall to play. Haunt in his hand alongside that Prowler could still make something happen for his team. Foxy to come through here. We did see a Trailblazer kill earlier. Not happening this time. Timing for Javi AK could be massive here, but Garnets is just holding there alongside his teammate. His position's noted. Gonna be a
One
good
enemy remaining.
hold area from Garnets as well. 3 in the bag already. With only a Sheriff in hand, barely any HP to work with. What are you gonna do? The perfect headshot, fine. But against 4, not a chance.
Again, and this is now map point for
Match
XGOD. Great anticipation from the players on XGOD. Or maybe it's also the coach Hestiazi, like working alongside them. Like off the timeout, they knew that NAOS would be trying something different, and you know they kind of guessed that right as well. Like, is he singing?
was that
One of the
song?
biggest things that they were dealing with was like PTC, right? He's been having a tough time. So trying to work around that, then you see Fox and Garnet's hole. It's just so smart to read that. Next round coming up, and it's going to be the B hit from NAOS. We'll see how it pays off. If they can at least maybe like take down, you know, the mid player who is currently KRX, then they'll have more freedom.
The same trick from earlier, which is easily identified by Fluky has positioned himself so aggressively in the inside of Garage. KRS and Fluky get one each here. There is still a cage to worry about. They didn't check the one corner where Niz is in. And this round, this last final round, it was so decisive how they wanted to play it.
It is a little bit telling as well, but we'll see if they have kind of fixed things up from then. Meanwhile, for XGOD though, like, they're working pretty well together. They're also running the same composition that they used to run, which also happened to be against Sharper Esports. And back then, they took Sharper Esports down 13-3 on this map.
Exactly. There's a reason why this is their map, Quack.
Exactly. Just to reiterate the point again, if NAOS is not prepared, GG. G freaking G.
Yeah.
I'm such a pessimistic analyst today.
I mean, we gotta play good cop, bad cop sometimes, and today I guess I'm the good cop. Coming here, aggressive as ever. NAOS taking so much damage already, but BTC says, you know what, I don't care if you're going aggressive or not. I'm gonna walk up, shoot you in the face, but at this time there is a trade. Javi 8K this time as well, very much online, but Foxy will be his next victim, as Fluky, understanding the situation, decides to move away, but PTC was already on the site and waiting for him.
Damn. Good shots found. And we'll see. They got some time. They got the spike planted. They could fall back. You got Javi 8K watching the back.
Spike's down already. Both players coming in from XGOD flanking.
Javi saw him.
Yeah, definitely saw him. KRX is here. They can double swing him if they want to, but the taps are good, not able to play off each other. He's just walking up here, shooting players in the face. But PTC is there. He already had 3. Might as well go for a 4. The paranoia will hit at the same time, but he's very, very low. They play off each other. They have the crossfires as well. Where are you going to clear here? 1, 2, 3. Swing is the name of the game, but no! It is not! KRX walks up and somehow manages to take these jewels one by one. And now numbers advantage down the drain.
I always play high stakes.
That is insane, Tash. No, by no means should NAOS have lost that round. BTC was picking up so many major kills to get them into the site as an omen, by the way. But when it came down to the back plays, it's just KRX alongside Niz, and with some support, some info gained. KRX just finds every shot necessary to put his team up on the pistol. Now they've got all the guns going for him. Now they must be feeling down in the dumps.
Right after a rough start on their previous map as well, they want to be able to just equalize it and bring it to a map 3. But XGOD is definitely not making this easy. First round already is this hard, and KRX just spraying through those smokes puts a lot of damage onto Zan already. The flashes are good here. KRX is set up for success. Valdin finds one, and no more than that. As Niz, all he has to do is just tap. BTC is here. The shots are good with the Sheriff, but in 1v3, Valdin, not a lot you can do, but he still tries. The shot to the face by Valdin onto Foxy. He hears the sound of that drone. Tries to stay out of sight at the very least, but Garnett's trying to, just hoping for him to cross there, but he decides to get a little bit more active. The right click to the face is massive, but Fluky is there at the very least. So for NAOS, they did make this round very expensive for XGOD.
Yeah, not too bad coming up from NAOS to be able to land all these shots to deal as much damage as they did. So this certainly inspires more confidence as to how they might continue to perform all throughout the map. XGOD playing on the defensive side, you know, this is something that can happen sometimes. They get surprised by it. And it's down to some of these close range duels, right? So it tells you that XGOD, they do need to keep themselves in top condition. They need to still be aware of what NAOS can throw at them. That said, though, I mean, it still is, Fox IGLN against Javi 8K, and Javi needs to call some strong rounds here. You've got the full buy, don't throw that away.
An immediate push out this time. XGOD wants to take things into their own hands. Better guns, aggression coming around as well.
Over there.
NAOS being fairly patient, wants to punish. Goes for some hot shots, finds nothing. But unfortunately for them, that util will not keep them alive at the very least. A 2-for-1 trade here in the favor of NAOS. Still, a long way to go. You still have one member holding on here. Is Foxy. Trying to see if anyone were to play a little bit more on the backside. But PTC very much anticipating this. And they decide, okay, let's go to a different site. And it's going to TP straight onto the A site where there is one member waiting already. They already have so much control of that site here.
Okay.
Spike planted.
Fluky though.
Last player
Nice
standing.
off angle, but they check him.
Nice.
Very.
KRX might have picked up the rifle, but yeah, 1v4 Tash.
Yeah, it's very, very decisive how they play this. They are very determined to be able to make this round clean if possible. KRX crossing, I don't think it's gonna check him. Follows him from behind. Oh, don't say knife. Oh my god, please bring. Okay, no Tondo gaming, not today. But honestly, I don't blame them. We've seen too many mishaps with the Tondo.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. So keeping it respectful, keeping it good. Also money going in for NAOS, which is very lovely. Good little round picked up. They were anticipating a lot of these plays, and I love this so much. So all the Filipino fans out there, if they are watching this, you know, I know you guys love your NBA. This fight between like PTC and Fox is kind of like LeBron James versus Jimmy Butler. You know, it's basically they are legends in the scene. They've got a rivalry going on between each other. And every single time, PTC is still trying to read for how Fox might play. And that time, PTC won. Next one coming up now, and PTC has swapped up his position once again. Fox, on the other hand, though, he's up towards B, and he's trying to play support for his team.
Here comes the cage as well as the wall. Unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to break the right clone. As the flash does pop at the very least. A lot of pressure coming from him onto Mosier, forced to gate crash away closer to his teammate. You have Javi 8K holding down the line here on mid-side area. Spots out one player already. Garnet's going to slide forward, shoot Javi 8K in the face. But Mosier is there at the very least to receive here. The paranoia is good, but PTC going to go tag team with his teammate to make sure they all stay very much alive. Blind shots abound. A flash and tide as well. Mosier playing this nice corner, holding it very close as well. Foxy gonna find PTC somehow in the corner as well. Somehow finds two! He flicks up forward, leaving it only to Valdin. And then this situation. Now, yes, it was a great push onto site, but XGOD's retake is just something to behold.
Came down back into it. Fox remains on top for the XGOD squad. It just keeps on happening. I mean, this rivalry goes way back, Tash, because back when Full Sense was playing, you know, Fox was back on like X10, maybe Sersha, a little bit here and there. And Sersha, if you recall, were that team that bested Full Sense a lot of these times, or even made in Thailand. So ETC, like, he's been hungry for this fight, but when it comes down to it, even though NAOS gets the site down, XGOD with their coordination and Fox calling and setting up for a lot of these hits, they're able to make it into sight. So NAOS needs to begin to watch out for a lot of these post plants now.
XGOD still very eager to take up space to deny them any access onto main area. But that's not where NAOS is going. They're trying to take full control of garage site, and that clone from Mosier gets rid of that trip, so a little bit more space to play. And for KRX, he's just playing on the back of C site.
Yeah, trying to play the off angles around garage. Javi, though.
He's suspecting that Fluky is there somewhere at the very least. I mean, if you're pushing out that far. But this deep smoke will deny them some information and even space, so XGOD is gonna hold.
Yeah, a little bit tricky. So you're doing two things. You're trying to sell a bit of a fake into the C site while the main team pushes in, but at the same time, XGOD's pushing out a little bit more now. Garnet's able to receive them too.
Jump peek also just finds one air to hold, and is somehow gonna catch a member of NAOS in the midst of that rotation. He's not done yet though. There is still one more member here playing on A main, which is Zan, and he was not ready at all for that push up from Fluky.
30 seconds left.
No, you get just two players trying to retrieve the spike. They know that everyone's watching it.
One enemy remaining.
Gonna win one fight, but cannot win the other. Tag team abound here as KRX gonna find the final member left alive. And all these fights are so sporadic all around the map, but XGOD has every single corner and off angle covered.
Yeah, really tough, Tash. Then this is the impressive thing about XGOD right now. They got the confidence. Not only do they have the confidence, they're feeling it. They're continuously pushing out. You don't see them, even though they're in defense, they're hardly passive. That call from Fox to allow the team to push down mid gave them so much more leg room in this round. And the other thing is, you know, this was a point made by a coach big time back on the Deskin Pacific. Javi AK on the Sentinel as an IGL, it's a little bit difficult to call strats when you're doing that because you're often separated from your team. Sometimes you're lurking on the attack. You don't really know what your team is seeing, and that can be a bit of a pain point for NAOS right now as well.
Making their way onto B this time around here, but my worry about B side is how easily it is to get overwhelmed and just when you get retaked here. The plant does get delayed by the Hunter's Fury, by the Aftershock as well. It's not easy for him at all here. No tags at the very least for the time being here. But KRX, good opening onto Zan. He's not done yet. He's trying to take up more space, and Garnet makes sure that no one is around here onto CT side. Javi and K's position already noted as well. The shorty from inside the smoke makes sure that Mosher cannot stay alive any longer. Blind shots abound here. You cannot do much as it's so overwhelming. It's all alone right now. At the very least, Javi 8K can only get one. But this is the reason why XGOD is so good on this map. How overwhelming it can be from the punch from so many different sides.
Two things I want you to know here with the Hunter's Fury, Tash. It's the fact that first, yes, you might not have found the targets, but with the Hunter's Fury being sent through, your opponents need to make noise. They need to run away from those beams to be able to keep themselves alive, right? And in that noise, it's information for XGOD. Second thing is, Hunter's Fury also allows your team to close in the distance. That's why they were already all around this B site, ready to receive as soon as the spike got planted. It's just a really strong macro game that XGOD are playing. Every single round, they cycle through ultimates, they cycle through rounds where they are pushing up mid, pushing up C. And because of all these instances, they keep themselves... They always keep an advantage over NAOS. Every round that NAOS plays, they're always like playing at a disadvantage because XGOD could be pushing up, XGOD could be finding an opening kill, or they have an ult. You know, it's things like that that is so tough for NAOS to fight back that Amix definitely needs to call a timeout. They've racked up a lot of ultimates for themselves now. I think they might have like all 5 online. You got the Yori, you got the ISO. Rob someone away from the team. Use Dimensional Drift, force your opponents out of their comfort spots, and get the spike down and play a strong post plan. That could be a way for NAOS to, you know, find a round back into it. But it's tough when XGOD are always keeping you on your tippy toes. Like, you're not too sure if they're going to push out somewhere. So still got to play a little bit cautious sometimes. It's not easy. Oh, I couldn't imagine what Amix needs to consider. Oh,
Dimensional trip there. Oh my god, as Garnet immediately finds Zen. Javi 8K at the very least getting that treat, that trip out.
Right there.
Just now, you see how quickly they pushed out of garage just to catch them off guard. They already took Zen away. There goes the dimensional. Excuse me, that dimension of the kill contract. As Foxy is trying to find a way to break into that C site.
Not bad though. You got the spike down. But Fox is rolling Thunder. At least they're getting out of dodge, getting out of range for that. This point just comes down to whether or not you send someone, up grass in towards garage again.
Cage triggered.
This guy's gonna push through that. Already on that site, has an idea where the other members of NAOS are. They have a cage set up as well, despite that one way, so he can keep relatively alive and safe. But the double swing is a lot to deal with right now. Time on their side here for XGOD, and that timeout converted as NAOS run away with this one, Quack.
Yeah, good round from NAOS. 3 ults spent. Not too bad. I'm wondering if it's a little bit overkill, but you know what? Take the rounds that you can get, and that's gonna give you a boost of confidence for the upcoming rounds as well. And this is what I'm talking about. XGOD, once again, they get proactive. It's Garnet's pushing out as the Neon, but at the same time, good job by NAOS, you know, being able to defend their teammates that way. Even though the Dimensional Drift was dealt with, they were still able to meet their objective, which is to get that spike planted for them on the C site. Now swapping over onto the A site, and you have kill contract. Gotta play it sharp, and they are doing so good so far.
I love how ready NAOS were to just receive that, knowing that the players for XGOD are going to disrespect that smoke. You already have the kill contract online as well. Don't know if I actually got some. I don't think so. There we go, walking up onto the side there. Unfortunately for him, he chose wrong. Gate crashing all the way to the back of side here. And PTC Mosher taking up so much space together. The overwhelming amount of firepower is too much for XGOD to deal with. Niz and KRX left here. Both coming in from CT side, from T side. Spots the head here one by one. He can go aim labs, and he does. Zan was ready and waiting for him right there in that corner, leaving KRX alone. And KRX, I think he's understanding that it's going to be a little bit too hard to deal with this, so he's going to let this round slip away.
Yeah, which is okay actually. Not too bad from XGOD, but incredible coming out from NAOS. You love that PTC is staying and keeping himself frosty. in case XGOD pushes out. Ooh, Javi though might meet KRX at some point.
No, not yet. At the very least. Oh, here we go. Not sure if they're gonna check him. No. Oh, he does.
Oh!
KRX.
Oh, man.
Oh no. I mean, one thing about KRX, if he holds, he doesn't let go. It's really scary. You're gonna die.
Which is good, yeah. So he keeps his gun, which is going to be helpful for XGOD. Well, still not too bad. So this is the thing about NAOS. It's lovely that they're punching back against XGOD. You know I like my boxing, Tash, and this is basically what it feels like, right? XGOD are throwing punches left, right, all over the place, and NAOS were on the ropes, like getting hit. But now they're beginning to see these hits coming, and they find the gap to like punch back against XGOD, and they have these rounds. Not only that, you know, if they are able to keep XGOD away, like know that Garnets or whoever is going to continue pushing against them, they have more freedom to find more space across the map now. And this is what they're going to do. Find this way into the C site.
Tripwire gives all the information for XGOD already, and I love where KRX has positioned himself so close in the corner as well to receive anyone coming in from garage. But Garnet's here stays relatively hidden. His teammate is gonna break that trip, which allows him to do just that. A shot straight onto Zan, taking the duelist away this quickly. And the rest of NAOS, Mosher holding there for so long, was not even aware that two members of XGOD was holding his position.
They had no idea, Tash.
Not the easiest rotation for Javi, but he makes it work there. Through two of his cages as well. Gonna rally and call Valdin to come closer as well as we leave PTC. Kind of hanging on the C side to see if anyone wants to push out. KRX, as we know, if he holds, he doesn't let go.
30 seconds
PTC
left.
down and out already. The other two members now trying to make a beeline for another site here, trying to see what they can do on that C side, knowing that KRX is there.
Maybe a double peek and creep up against him.
Here.
But then you got to watch out for like garage and spawn as well. 10 seconds. It's a fever dream
seconds
for you
left.
to get the spike down.
One
Yep.
enemy remaining.
With the trips and the utility, Niz is there. All he has to do is just play off the trip, and that's exactly what he did.
Man.
Oh man.
I feel for the NAOS players. Do you feel for them, Tash? Oh my god.
Feeling it, man.
It's tough. They can't see what we can see. But they're also trying to run with
One enemy remaining.
the strat that they have drilled, which is to get some early C presence with Mosher and his clones. You know, they can break trips. Meanwhile, the other squad alongside Javi AK will try to get the spike closer up into A long and then potentially the A site. But XGOD are aware of that as well, and that's why you got Garnets playing the op around these spots. Now they're swapping up the positions just in case NAOS have decided for a different strat call. But, you know, while that happens, XGOD are also, you know, keeping NAOS at bay with their smokes and everything. You know, at some point, Fluky's going to send the drone, and he's going to see all of them at A long. Oh, there it is.
Not sure how to approach this already. 3 members of XGOD very much ready for any incoming assault from NAOS here. You do have, at the very least, Javi 8K just hanging around to see if anyone's lurking around right now. The drone does come through. Fluky is the only one that's gotten noticed as well.
Oh, Fox has ult as well. Like, he could just, if he times it right, completely stun everyone from NAOS. Okay, Javi though.
Page keeps at bay, and Javi, he follows the bullet tracers, gets KRX, and even then gets an upgrade here. But there's always going to be that second layer. There's always going to be Garnets around or another teammate here as Valdin holds close. They push smoke. It's going to be hard as Zan dies to that aftershock. And now the Rolling Thunder is online as well. But Valdin gets a collateral pickoff with that Guardian. But so much space taken away now. Niz to find one. Mosher tries to find back. And somehow PTC and Mosher make it work. Up in hand just now on that retake. Oh man, what happened there, XGOD?
Garnets. Yeah, a little bit stunned and dazed and confused on both ends, I think. The Rolling Thunder, was the right call, but the positioning played by now is so smart to anticipate a lot of these moments. And this is where you get to see Javi AK shine a little bit more. Even though he's not, with the team, maybe necessarily calling for the team sometimes, he's able to find these lurk spots where he then catches onto an unsuspecting KRX. So good round played. Let's see if they can keep up this consistency.
Quick TP forward here by Niz as well. He's heard a lot of noise coming in from Garage, so that's the clone down and out already. So at the very least, the second one should be real. They've heard the gun sounds of gunfire, excuse me. Fluky here playing aggressively in an angle, catching three of the members for NAOS off guard, making it look like aim labs. And he wants more. Just gonna push out a little bit more. Nice off-angle played, but the double swing coming in from the NAOS members means that Garnets also cannot survive that trade.
Where is
But still Javi against the rest of XGOD.
I have retrieved the spike.
And it's also XGOD just, well, still reading and staying prepared for every possible hit. Tough for Javi now. At least with him letting himself be seen around A lobby, he can then try to pivot somewhere else. Gotta watch out for the Cypher util though. KRX, he's a tricky one.
He is a tricky one. Honestly, if I look at KRX, I think, oh my gosh, if this guy is watching sight, you're not going to be able to cross. He's broken the trip already. So it gives an idea for XGOD where exactly he might be. He fakes that plant, tries to play in the corner, but XGOD, they have a nice cross and double swings as well. Again, KRX, you can't keep anything away from this guy.
Yeah, it's tough. This one I think came down to a little bit of the micro execution from NAOS, but also just smart reads coming out from XGOD. They knew that it was going back to that sort of fake C, A hit kind of play, which is NAOS' entire game plan. And this was the first round where Fluky pushed up. It's something that NAOS wasn't anticipating. You could see Zan when he peeked out, he was watching for A long, and unfortunately that just didn't quite happen. Also, micro execution because they didn't time the peaks together. Zan peeked out first, and then everyone then one by one. That's why Fluky found all 3 kills. Need more drilling together.
Oh man, XGOD, they have pushed out of B main here, got 2 pickoffs, and Valdin somehow managed to still get away 1 kill at the very least with that Hunter's Fury. But the HP for Garnets is so low right now with only 1 HP left. NAOS is going to try and capitalize, take advantage of how much space they have on the C side. But XGOD, they're undeterred, take their time, play together here, and PTC anticipating a flank forward here, finds Garnets easily, but moves away. He doesn't know that Foxy is here at all. Could be able to get that backstab, and he does! Leaving only Valdin on the site. The recon is forward. He's gotten noticed as well here. Gonna eat the whole of the paranoia. And XGOD swiftly deals with him as you go into this round. A 5-7 half is what we're working with right now.
4-8 Tash, 4-8.
4-8. I can't math quick. I'm sorry.
There we go.
I cannot math.
Well, that's a successful first half for XGOD. Every time, Fox and PTC. He's so smart, and Fox just keeps staying on top of him. Of course, PTC doesn't anticipate a second player there. Why would he? He didn't go in deep enough check, and he still had to support his team on the side. So, oh my God, Fox just played him like a fiddle.
Everything down pat on this map, but what about the second half?
Yeah, on the attacking side. This is when you get to see Fox and Garnets doing a lot more together as well. Spotted on PTC.
Yeah, fairly early as well, but he's kept himself relatively safe. There is a trip in front of him. The cam is here as well for his teammate to give him his support. But XGOD, they're okay with just making their presence known, and then they're just gonna kind of float around to the other part of the site.
Right, they baited out the smokes. Yeah, actually, they baited out both smokes, which does leave a site potentially open, and that would be A. You even have Niz just marking in case anyone does push out. Garnets is marking it too.
I'm out of here.
Oh, he saw him pushing out, so he knows A is definitely a lot more open now. And with that kill, A site, the spike should be planted so soon.
That was a tiny little angle. He just completely took advantage of that situation here. Speed at the time of game here. XGOD going forward, not allowing the other members of NAOS to even push through. But Moser, he punches back alongside his teammates. Make quick work of the members of XGOD, and they take the pistol. NAOS! Wow! What a read, what a play.
Individual
Brilliance.
individual performance. Individual. What other word can we say, Tesh?
Shine?
Yeah, shine. Why not? Dude, this guy, he's the light of NAOS right now. Mojo,
Really?
Javier K a little bit as well.
Down A.
But you get to see why this guy is so good and why he's been on the team so long. Just meeting every single kill. Like, that was by every means around that XGOD should have picked up. But because he got those kills, it didn't go that way. So, guns now, and they're just able to shoot them down.
That was quite surprising that they just decided to go in there quietly and without util as well here. Dry Peek's about, and NAOS are just so happy to punish this. KRX alone. KRX can make it a little bit more expensive, and he does, but only for one. So the very least here, NAOS still very healthy to bring all of their guns back into the next round. Except for Zam. Poor Zam.
Yeah. Poor Zan. My sweet boy, Zan! What
My
have you
poor
done to Zan?
NYSG boy, bruh!
It's okay. He's got to pick up some slack. And, you know, it just is what it is sometimes. And he's the ISO, especially on the defensive side. He can do so much for retakes once he gets his ult. You know, put people in a gulag. Tash, you got a gulag.
I do.
But for XGOD, now they got to really try to figure things out, right? You've started to see PTC on the C side. You obviously know, that's kind of how his often set themselves up. But trying to create some gaps in NAOS' defense. So early on into A, pull some rotations over.
They do. They have, what, 4 members just hanging out on A side already. Granted, they do have trips there onto Garage and B, and 1 member on C at the very least.
Yeah. So while this A rotation happens, right, what are the rest of the XGOD players doing? That's kind of what we need to see them, where we need to see them find gaps. So far, nothing much, though, and you also have the drones out just to check and confirm. You got the smokes now, and sooner, some point later, XGOD's got to begin rotating somewhere else. Oh,
He's in full control of the
Really?
side as well. Lost his teammate here. 2 members moving up. Finds nothing quite yet. But they didn't know that there's 3 members here on the A side. It's a crossfire galore. But Valdin doesn't even need his teammates. Finds 2 kills to his name here. And the rest of XGOD tries to make it even faster onto the side. From this one corner here, Zan is able to also give a bit more support to his teammates. And now we're done to 1v3. KRX here does have a better gun. At the very least, gets a nice little dink. But he's so low, 15 HP left. He's inside of the cage, moves out, hoping to catch PTC off guard, but he doesn't. PTC, he's ready for him.
And that's why we got the Jimmy Butler vs LeBron James thing happening again. PTC, dude, comes back in to save the team. He's always marking the Thai players on the other side. He's Thai himself, and he really has that rivalry, and if he can, live up to expectations, that would mean so much for NAOS. So it's a good little round coming through. But also a questionable one from XGOD, that call to creep up. Surely you expect some players from NAOS to have rotated onto the A side, but they kind of overcooked it. So if this continues up, I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Hestiazi calls a timeout soon enough. But right now, trying to go with shock and awe into the A side.
Speed is the name of the game for Garnet, and he wants more. He's not done, but Mosher says, yes, you are. Good trade back from Fluky as well for the backside, and for the rest of the team here, it's overwhelming when XGOD goes completely on your side, and you're not able to play off one another. The positioning of NAOS now compromised from so many different angles, and Fluky, that off angle is great to find PTC here. Javier K in a position that it's so hard to get onto site. Crossfires, util, you name it. And still try breaks that trip for the time being. He has some cages.
Cage triggered.
Gonna try and isolate one part of the area, and in response to that, XGOD is just putting in pressure, shooting through, and he decides to say, I don't think I can do this. It's time for a save.
Has to, team's economy is starting to dwindle a little bit, so if he can stay alive, that could be a bulldog for someone else, or something along those lines. But yeah, it's honestly, I gotta stand corrected. XGOD, I apologize. They just go with mental conditioning. Surely, now it's just surely they're not gonna hit, A site like that, not twice. But XGOD's like, nuh-uh, you thought wrong, and they ran in with just full stingers. That's crazy, dude. But that's how,
G2 strat.
Yeah, that's how the Southeast Asians play sometimes. G2 as well, apparently. But for now, the thing for me is you're down 7-9, or back then it was 7-8, I guess, and they need to find or show consistency. You cannot allow yourselves to get buckled by surprise plays like that. So gotta keep themselves up and gotta equalize the score sooner or later.
Great opening by KRX there. Just an outlaw, but PTC as well, he shoots back. Zan is around here as well to B side to provide a bit more support, but they're smoked off. So does put a bit of a wrench into the execution for XGOD's plans.
And meanwhile, Valdin, dude, like, I don't know what the team protocols are, but okay, now he drones out. So around minute 20, minute 15, that's when he does that. Doesn't see anyone around the A site, which means Javier K at some point has to be a little bit concerned about C. He doesn't know though for now. And dude, KRX, he's beginning to knock on that door.
I think I'm seeing pings as well, like warning pings coming in from NAOS. I think they have a bit of an idea here.
Okay, camera.
Yeah, camera is online as well. I think Javi AK is taking the space here. Gonna play with the smokes. Oh, it's gonna push through here. If his timing is good, this could be the best push ever. And it does become just that. So Javi AK gonna find that. Even getting that neural theft online. Valdin from the backside cannot hold any longer as Fox as well as Niz. Gonna deny them that. But PTC, you can rely on this guy. There's a reason why he's so scared to play with. But so is Niz. Gets that plant down. 1v1.
Tashi went for wide swing. He pressed E, he didn't let go.
In the smoke, so could be the smoke criminal, and he does that. Niz, a clutch coming from this guy. And I have to say, that is a ballsy play.
All right, man, this is insane. The whole way that whole round just played out, Tash, basically, XGOD tried to sell snake oil. And Javier K, credit to him. He was like, hang on a sec, this is snake oil. This is crap. I don't want to buy this. But then XGOD were like, no, you already took it. I'm not, no refunds. No refunds. And that was just Niz being like just the best salesman ever. That's crazy how he was able to sidestep wide swing all the way into the A site. Unfortunate for NAOS, and now they don't have to buy.
And because of that, XGOD is going to take full control of the situation, go aggressive and quickly. Garnet's all the way in the back of sight. Fortunately for him, was not aware that Javi AK is close, but Niz quickly deals with him at the very least. Motion for the reposition. Beautiful shot to the head by Foxy from all the way behind platform. But Niz marks his position here. Unfortunately for him as well, you have Valdin. The hunter is him, definitely. Has a pick up from that. But still one member self alive. It's Fluky here. In 1v2, PTC and Valdin with low buys here right now. But doesn't really matter because he's able to take full control of the situation. It's a thrifty from NAOS. This map is very competitive.
And where we get to see a bit more experience coming out from NAOS. Now PTC, especially with that last kill, elevation. Crosshair placement not quite there from Fluky. You know, even though he hurt the jump, it just baited him into the peak. And PTC with a stinger, he knew he could get that kill. So well played. And this is one of those rounds where we get to see NAOS being able to receive them, but it was due to an ult. We need to see more of the NAOS players being able to withstand rounds on their own without, you know, too much of like game-changing abilities like ults. That said, though, speaking of ults, XGOD has almost a full kit this time.
PTC rushes up forward here. Overdrive comes forward as well. Fluky and Garnet, they love speed and they are going fast. But there insists when things go hard, you go faster, I guess. But anyways, they're literally embracing speed as their name. The rest of NAOS here moving their way up onto A as well. Still 3-man hold as you do still have KRX just hovering around mid-side area.
Feeling the need for info. But now they do kind of see that A has been relinquished. So they should be aware that there is a hit going somewhere else on the map. They're thinking about potentially C. First, you got to push all the way out.
This could be huge, actually.
So XGOD, yeah, is going to get the spike down first. Got to watch out for Garnets.
Spike planted.
They have a trip there as well. Garnet's in the corner. They're going to have to break it at the very least here. But you still have Fluky still holding close. You put the drone here, but he's going to get caught off guard because of that. Garnets is here. The recon gets thrown out. His position noted as well. As Valdin going to reposition himself all the way T side.
Here.
Winnable?
The very least, it is very winnable here. Motion to quickly find KRX. No, it's not going to happen because KRX and Garnets, they're just sharpshooters. Positions noted as well. XGOD take another round here. 11. NAOS couldn't really figure it out.
Not gonna lie. Niz, KRX, these 3-letter names, like what is up with that? But they are online today. Like they're feeling hot and that's why they're able to take a lot of these duels. Meanwhile, for Mojer and Valdin, they're like trying to get themselves back in the game, but it's just not fully happening. So I see that, you know, KRX, having been around the block, he's been on Xersha in 2023, but apart from that, it's teams like Purple Mood Esport, Day Trade Nursery.
Wow.
And meanwhile, for Niz, it's Santa Gang. Yo, Santa Gang.
I want to be part of the Santa Gang.
The Infinity Esport. That's why they're kind of like unknowns to me somewhat, but
Yeah.
it's incredible to see how they're able to perform when they're feeling this hot. Meanwhile, for NAOS, you know, still trying, still not going down without a swing, which is very admirable, but you definitely feel for them with how many disadvantages they have working against them. Like, a lot of these rounds, XGOD are mentally conditioning NAOS into keeping presence on A's site. And that's why in some of these rounds, all of a sudden, you got Garnet's ripping the ult, you got Niz supporting him with Omen Flash, and NAOS just get completely blindsided. Next round coming up, and all of a sudden, off the timeout, XGOD, they can go somewhere else. Meanwhile, if you're NAOS, you're still feeling like, I still need to watch out for A in case XGOD pushes this. So to deal with that, you know, with a coach intervention, we need to see some utility coming out from Valdin to clear out this, which is why the recon into A lobby is so good. Now you know A is a little bit more clear. We can then maybe do something more across the map. And that's why you see PTC, the rest of them, marking Garage and things like that.
Hoping to see whether or not the members of NAOS will peek out here for Garage. They haven't seen anything quite yet here. Most of the holes coming from Garage, 2 on C site as well. You have at least Valdin just hovering around A and B. But quickly, Fluky gonna find one member alive. And here comes a kill contract immediately. Gonna find Garnet's. Not the easiest beast to deal with. His double tap, his shield is now gone. And Garnet takes full advantage of the situation to run away with these kills. Mosher, at the very least, will eventually find Fluky. 1-for-1 somewhere from 2 different parts of the map here as PTC. His timing could be massive if he manages to find the head here of Garnet. And he does. No, he doesn't. Whiffs that. And Garnet survives with 30 HP, running away with another kill to his name.
Gun's not great for NAOS as well.
30 seconds left.
Here.
Oh, he saw it.
He definitely did. Nice little angle as well. He's quite low, so it's easy for him to just wall bang Garnet to smithereens here. Now reconvene with his teammates. Mosher, he does have the dimensional drift to just really pinpoint where they might be if he wants to. And Javi AK does already have a rifle in hand.
Ah, there we go.
Here comes that flash.
One enemy
Come forward
remaining.
here, but KRX, the back of sight, gone completely in his domain. No clue where the other member is. Spotted out already. Wallbangs abound, but that swing from KRX will catch his counterpart off guard as Javi AK will fall. XGOD now on match point.
Could end. It could end all in this round. You got 4 ults online for XGOD. A lovely attempt by NAOS, but it pains me to say that Zan has not been hitting it. He had the kill contract, but his shield got cracked. He looked in the wrong spot, and I feel bad for the young gun because, you know, I imagine this is a mental thing as well. You know, you're playing against a lot of experienced people, and you're starting to kind of lose confidence. So you need to keep that online. 4 rounds for NAOS to push this to overtime. Let's go.
Not the most impossible thing. We've seen more incredible things happen before. Come on, we've seen GC sheriffs.
Yeah.
KRX here would be able to get some information there with that off-angle cam. He's been a lot of pressure getting to him, just wall-banged abound here. But NAOS, full control of window here. They want to go all the way up onto main. There is a trip there. It does make it a little bit more slower for XGOD to get onto site. And Valdin gonna try and delay time with the shock dart. We already have the dimensional drift online here. Zan just feeding information. KRX running for his life, and you can't do anything much from this. But somehow KRX survives. I'm not sure what the heck happened there. Fox, at the very least, trades back. But Niz here gets one to his name. Hunter's Fury online as well. Garnet's just moving around the area as PTC gets away with 2. 5 HP to his name. 1 versus 2 to save the game. Keep them alive right now. You have stuns, you have utils, you have the Rolling Thunder as well. In this situation for TTC, what can you do here? Smokes, a tap, a quick movement away. And Rolling Thunder is here. He tries to juke it, but Fluky will get him in the end. XGOD, despite